Right now, the United States national debt sits at roughly $40 trillion. That number is the engine of a systemic instability built entirely on the continuous expansion of fiat currency. To service an obligation that massive, central banks rely on a single mechanism. They create new currency out of thin air, continuously expanding the global money supply to cover the shortfall. This monetary expansion is heavily marketed as economic growth. In reality, it acts as a silent inflation tax. It rapidly and invisibly drains the purchasing power of the bottom 90% of earners, diluting the value of every dollar they hold. The central banks are entirely trapped. If they raise interest rates to fight that inflation, the interest payments on $40 trillion of sovereign debt become unserviceable. Their only mathematical escape is to continue devaluing the currency. This exact cycle accelerated in 1971, when the US dollar was officially decoupled from gold. Removing the hard asset constraint gave governments a blank check to print indefinitely. Unrestricted fiat expansion guarantees currency depreciation over time. As that mathematical reality sets in, both institutional and retail capital are forced to seek safety in hard physical assets. Historically, that flight to safety ends at gold. Silver, on the other hand, is routinely dismissed by the mainstream financial media as nothing more than the poor man's gold. This chart shows the physical reality of the global silver market over the last 5 years. On the top, you see global consumption rising steeply. On the bottom, you see physical inventories plummeting. We are operating in a severe, accelerating physical deficit. Yet, despite this massive and growing imbalance between supply and demand, the spot price has remained flat, entirely disconnected from the physical shortage. The United States government is quietly acknowledging the shortage. They recently added silver to their official list of critical minerals. That classification triggered a mandate to build a strategic stockpile, setting aside roughly $10 billion to acquire the metal and placing the government in direct competition with the open market. Silver is trapped in a massive structural anomaly. It is priced today as a speculative paper derivative, while actually operating as an irreplaceable physical commodity facing a critical global shortage. To understand why silver is uniquely positioned, look at demand elasticity. Gold is primarily used for jewelry. If the price of gold spikes 10 times higher tomorrow, jewelry demand will instantly collapse. That is elastic demand. This diagram shows the exact opposite for silver. Its demand curve is rigid, inelastic. If the price spikes, industrial requirements don't shrink. This is physics. Silver is Earth's highest thermal and electrical conductor. Substituting cheaper metals physically degrades end product performance. The global energy transition is the primary driver here. Aggressive expansion of solar arrays worldwide requires massive, continuous inputs of physical silver to function effectively. Then there is the tech sector. The extreme power requirements of modern AI data centers and advanced robotics rely heavily on silver components to manage heat and electrical load. The defense sector is equally dependent. Highly sophisticated weaponry and modern drone technology cannot achieve required performance metrics without silver wiring and circuit boards. Consumer technology is locked in. Electric vehicle manufacturers and companies developing solid-state batteries are entirely reliant on the metal to meet their production targets. These industries must buy silver regardless of the spot price to keep their assembly lines running. A price spike will not cure the underlying demand. They will pay whatever the market dictates. The supply side is just as rigid. The vast majority of silver is mined as a byproduct of extracting other metals like zinc or lead. Miners cannot simply flip a switch to increase silver production just because the price goes up. This map tracks the geopolitical journey of raw silver. Once extracted from regions like Mexico and Peru, raw ore is transported across the globe for specialized processing. This creates a massive choke point. Currently, China refines roughly 70% of the world's silver. Recently, China has begun implementing strict export controls on these refined critical minerals. They intentionally keep the physical metal within their borders to feed their own massive manufacturing base. Meanwhile, Western powers are reacting. The US defense and tech sectors are facing aggressive new government mandates to stockpile whatever supply they can secure. Global superpowers are now competing directly with commercial tech industries for a mathematically shrinking pool of physical metal. It is the ultimate supply squeeze. If industrial demand is inelastic, physical supply is choked, and superpowers are hoarding the metal, Why is the price still hovering near historical lows? The answer lies in the COMEX, the primary exchange where the global price of silver is actually determined. Price discovery on the COMEX does not happen through the exchange of physical metal. It happens through the trading of highly leveraged paper derivative contracts. This illustrates the exchange's extreme leverage ratio. For every ounce of physical silver in a vault, hundreds of paper contracts claim ownership. That massive paper stack dictates the daily spot price, completely suppressing the true value of the trapped physical bar beneath it. This leverage allows major bullion banks to easily manipulate spot prices. Shorting the paper market lets them manage cash flows and artificially suppress price volatility. We know this happens because these same institutions have paid billion-dollar settlements in U.S. courts for market spoofing and active price manipulation. The current price of silver is a paper illusion. It is completely disconnected from the physical reality of the commodity, and it only functions as long as buyers are willing to settle in cash instead of demanding actual delivery. That paper derivative system has a fatal flaw. It instantly collapses the moment contract holders stop accepting paper settlements and demand the physical metal. Right now, real-time data shows that COMEX registered and eligible inventories are plunging to historically dangerous lows, dropping rapidly below the critical 80 million ounce threshold. This fault train is a synchronized global phenomenon. We are seeing identical, severe inventory depletion occurring simultaneously in Eastern markets. Massive physical premiums are emerging in Shanghai. This proves that the Eastern physical market is beginning to reject Western paper pricing entirely. Major institutions are already reacting. Mining companies are signing multi-billion-dollar streaming deals for advanced capital, and nations like India are actively decoupling their domestic pricing from the COMEX. The global market is finally calling the bullion bank's bluff, abandoning the paper illusion to secure physical possession before the vaults run completely dry. This leads to a mathematical certainty. When the physical supply can no longer fulfill the heavily leveraged paper claims, the paper market breaks. As the paper market shatters, the suppressed price violently snaps back to meet the true industrial demand curve. Silver exists in a unique dual state. It is simultaneously a historical monetary safe haven against a collapsing fiat system and a strictly non-substitutable necessity for the future of global technology. Institutional smart money is quietly securing physical stockpiles right now. The retail masses will blindly rush the market later, once gold becomes financially inaccessible. Acting on this asymmetry requires moving ahead of the crowd. Waiting for mainstream media confirmation guarantees arriving long after the recalibration has happened. In an unstable macroeconomic environment defined by continuous currency debasement and a rapid transition to electrical infrastructure, silver represents the ultimate systemic tension point. The illusion of paper derivatives is finally colliding with the hard limits of physical reality.